What if I told you there exists a single spiritual command so powerful that it can dissolve decades of family resentment, heal the deepest wounds from childhood, and break ancestral patterns of pain within 24 hours, without confronting anyone, without forcing apologies, and without waiting for the other person to change first? What if the liberation you seek from family suffering lies not in receiving an apology or understanding from those who hurt you, but in a profound inner shift that frees you whether they ever acknowledge their actions or not? This is not magic, nor is it denial of genuine pain. It is spiritual science applied to the most stubborn suffering human beings endure, the wounds carried from those who were meant to love us. As Paramahansa Yogananda, I have witnessed countless souls imprisoned by unforgiveness toward parents, siblings, children, or other family members, their spiritual progress blocked, their hearts hardened, their joy stolen by resentments sometimes decades old. Yet I have also seen miraculous transformations when even one person understands and applies the spiritual law of forgiveness. If you are ready to claim this freedom and activate the healing power within your own consciousness, comment below. I unite with the divine and my reality transforms. This is not a plea but a command, a declaration that shifts the vibrational frequency of your entire being right now. The tragedy of unforgiveness within families is that it creates a prison with invisible bars. You may believe you are punishing the one who hurt you by withholding forgiveness, but in truth you are the one imprisoned. Every time you replay the grievance in your mind, every time you feel the familiar surge of anger or pain when you remember what they did or failed to do, you are not hurting them. You are poisoning yourself. The conventional approach to healing family wounds focuses on confrontation, on getting the other person to admit wrongdoing, apologize, or change their behavior. Many spend years in therapy revisiting childhood trauma, analyzing what their parents should have done differently, building cases for why their resentment is justified. While understanding the origins of pain has value, this approach often fails to produce actual liberation because it places your freedom in another person's hands. It says, I can only heal when they acknowledge what they did, when they apologize, when they change. But what if they never do? What if they are incapable of seeing their fault? What if they have died? Are you then condemned to carry this burden forever? Spiritual forgiveness operates on an entirely different principle. It recognizes that your freedom is not dependent on anyone's actions, but your own consciousness. And from my years of spiritual seeking and teaching, I learned that family wounds often carry karma from multiple lifetimes. The soul incarnates again and again with certain other souls to balance debts, to learn lessons, to transform hatred into love. That parent who rejected you, that sibling who betrayed you, that child who brings you pain, these are not random relationships but karmic assignments, opportunities for your soul to develop qualities it could not develop any other way. When you understand this, the entire narrative changes. You are not merely a victim of unfair treatment. You are a student in a cosmic school where the curriculum is precisely designed for your evolution. This does not excuse harmful behavior or mean you should tolerate abuse. But it does mean that even the deepest family wounds have spiritual purpose. The very person who hurt you most may be the one offering you the greatest gift, the opportunity to develop forgiveness, which is one of the highest spiritual qualities a soul can attain. The mechanism by which forgiveness operates at the spiritual level is profound. When you hold unforgiveness in your heart toward a family member, you create an energetic cord that binds you to them and to the past event. This cord drains your life force continuously. You may think you have moved on because you no longer speak to them, or because years have passed, but if your heart contracts when their name is mentioned, if you still feel anger when you remember, the cord remains active and you remain bound. True forgiveness, not the superficial kind where you say the words but still harbor resentment, actually cuts this energetic cord. It releases the energy that has been locked in the past, making it available for your present growth and joy. This is why the ancient scriptures say that forgiveness holds the universe together. Unforgiveness creates energetic knots, tangles in the fabric of consciousness. Forgiveness unties these knots, restores the flow, and allows divine energy to circulate freely once more. When you forgive, you are not doing anyone a favor except yourself. You are reclaiming your power. You are choosing freedom over imprisonment, love over hatred, peace over perpetual war. I would teach you now a specific practice that carries tremendous power to heal family wounds through forgiveness. This practice works whether the person who hurt you is living or deceased, whether they acknowledge their wrongdoing or remain in denial, whether reconciliation is possible or not. Begin by sitting in meditation posture, spine erect, in a quiet place where you will not be disturbed. Close your eyes and focus at the point between the eyebrows, the seat of spiritual consciousness. Practice the Hong Sao technique for several minutes to calm your mind. Observe your natural breath without controlling it, mentally repeating Hong on the inhalation and Sao on the exhalation, meaning I am He, affirming your identity with infinite consciousness beyond the limited ego that holds grudges. As your breathing becomes subtle and your mind grows still, bring to awareness the family member toward whom you hold unforgiveness. Do not replay the story of what they did. Simply hold their image in your mind. Then, with as much sincerity as you can muster, inwardly declare, I forgive you completely and unconditionally. I release you from the energetic debt I have held you in. I release myself from the prison of resentment. I choose freedom. If genuine forgiveness feels impossible, be honest and say, I am willing to become willing to forgive. Divine Mother, Father, soften my heart. Help me see this person as a soul in ignorance, not as an enemy. This willingness is the crucial first step. You cannot force forgiveness, but you can offer your willingness to the divine, and grace will do the rest. The depth of forgiveness I speak of includes what I call forgetfulness, the erasure of the pattern from your subconscious mind. Conscious forgiveness is the first level. You make the decision to release the person and the grievance, but the memory and the emotional charge may still reside in your subconscious, ready to be triggered. Student. True spiritual forgiveness goes deeper, reprogramming the subconscious so that the memory loses its power to disturb you. This is where the state of quietude before sleep becomes essential. In those 60 seconds, as you lie in bed, transitioning from waking to sleeping consciousness, your subconscious mind is extraordinarily receptive to new programming. Use this sacred window deliberately as you prepare for sleep. Bring to mind the family member you are forgiving and silently declare with feeling, I release all resentment toward you. I forgive you completely. The past is dissolved. I am free and you are free. Only love remains between us. Repeat this several times with genuine feeling. Then visualize both yourself and this person surrounded by soft golden light, held in divine embrace, the wounds between you dissolving into this light. This practice, done nightly for even 1 week, will begin to erase the subconscious patterns that have kept you bound. You must understand the difference between forgiveness and reconciliation. Many people resist forgiving because they believe it means they must restore the relationship, trust the person again, or pretend nothing happened. This is false understanding. Forgiveness is an inner spiritual act that frees your consciousness from the poison of resentment. Reconciliation is an outer relational choice that depends on whether trust can be rebuilt and whether the relationship serves the highest good of both souls. You can forgive your father completely while choosing not to see him if the relationship is toxic. You can forgive your sibling fully while maintaining boundaries that protect you from repeated harm. Forgiveness says, I will not carry hatred in my heart toward you. Boundaries say, I will not allow you to continue harmful behavior. These are not contradictory. They work together. Spiritual consciousness forgives all but tolerates nothing that violates dharma and dignity. 8. Ask yourself powerful questions that reprogram your subconscious understanding of the situation. Instead of why did they hurt me, which keeps you in victim consciousness, ask, what is my soul learning through this pain? What quality is being developed in me? Strength, discernment, self-reliance, compassion for others who suffer. How is this making me stronger and wiser? These questions shift you from passive victim to active learner, from one who is done to one who is becoming through challenge. Another powerful inquiry, in what ways have I also hurt others, perhaps unknowingly? Am I entirely innocent of causing pain? This honest self-examination cultivates humility, which is forgiveness' closest companion. When you recognize your own capacity for causing harm, even unintentionally, forgiveness toward others becomes easier. You see them not as monsters but as fellow souls struggling with ignorance, just as you sometimes do, Kriya. The command I give you now is this: I am not my wounds. I am not the story of what was done to me. I am an eternal soul, beloved of God, free in this moment to choose love over hatred, peace over perpetual war. I command my subconscious mind to release all patterns of unforgiveness. I decree that divine love flows through me now, dissolving all obstacles to my peace. Speak this command with authority, not as a hopeful wish, but as a declaration of spiritual truth. Your subconscious mind, which has accepted the identity of wounded victim for so long, will begin to accept this new identity as one who is healed, free, filled with divine love. The universe responds not to begging but to commands issued from the soul's recognition of its true nature. Within 24 hours of beginning this forgiveness practice with sincerity, you will notice unmistakable shifts. You may wake feeling lighter, as if a weight you did not even know you were carrying has been released during sleep. You might think of the person who hurt you and notice the usual stab of pain is softer, more distant. A memory that always provoked anger may arise, and you find yourself feeling compassion instead, recognizing their behavior came from their own pain and ignorance. Or the shift may be entirely internal, a quiet sense of peace settling in your heart, a feeling that something has fundamentally changed even though outer circumstances remain the same. These are signs that the vibrational frequency of unforgiveness is transmuting into the higher frequency of forgiveness. Do not expect instant perfection or complete emotional neutrality. Deep wounds, especially those from childhood or repeated over years, require time and persistent practice. But trust that every sincere effort at forgiveness weakens the old pattern and strengthens your spiritual freedom. Some will ask, but doesn't forgiveness mean they got away with it? Doesn't it mean what they did was acceptable? No. Forgiveness is not approval of harmful behavior. It is not saying what you did was fine. It is saying, I will not allow what you did to continue poisoning my life. I will not grant you ongoing power to disturb my peace. True justice belongs to divine law, to karma, not to your personal resentment. Every action has consequences, and those who harm others will face the results of their actions through the perfect operation of cosmic law. Your hatred does not add to their punishment. It only adds to your suffering. When you forgive, you step out of the role of judge and executioner, trusting that divine wisdom will handle what human wisdom cannot. This surrender brings profound relief. I encourage you also to practice blessing those who have wounded you. This may seem impossible at first, but it is one of the most powerful spiritual practices. Throughout your day, when the person's image comes to mind, instead of rehearsing your grievances, pause and silently say, I bless you. May you find peace. May you awaken to your divine nature. May you be freed from the ignorance that caused you to act harmfully. You are not blessing their harmful actions, you are blessing their soul, calling to the divine spark within them that is temporarily obscured by ignorance. This practice accomplishes several things. It prevents your mind from dwelling in the toxic frequency of resentment. It sends positive energy into the subtle connection between you. And most importantly, it trains your heart to remain open rather than hardening into permanent bitterness. A soft heart that has forgiven can receive divine love. A hard heart closed by unforgiveness blocks grace from entering. The deepest level of forgiveness includes forgiving yourself. Many who hold unforgiveness toward family members also carry guilt and self-blame. Perhaps you believe you should have been stronger, should have prevented what happened, should have known better. Perhaps you have responded to being hurt by hurting others in turn and now carry shame for that. Spiritual forgiveness extends to yourself. In your meditation, after forgiving the family member who hurt you, turn that same compassion inward. Place your hand on your heart and speak gently to yourself. I forgive myself for all mistakes made in ignorance. I forgive myself for the times I have hurt others. I forgive myself for not being perfect. I am learning, growing, becoming wiser through every experience. Divine Mother Father loves me completely as I am. This self-forgiveness is not self-indulgence or avoidance of responsibility. It is the recognition that you too are a soul in process, worthy of the same compassion you are learning to extend to others? As we conclude, I call you to make this sacred commitment. For the next 30 days, dedicate yourself to the practice of forgiveness toward every family member who has wounded you. Each morning in meditation, practice the Hong Sao technique to establish inner calm, then consciously forgive. Each night in the state of quietude before sleep, impress forgiveness commands upon your subconscious. Throughout your days, bless rather than curse those who hurt you. Notice the shift in your peace, in your energy, in your capacity for joy, and sometimes in the relationship itself as the other person unconsciously responds to your changed vibration. Comment below, I unite with the divine and my reality transforms to seal your commitment to this practice. Subscribe and activate notifications to continue receiving these teachings that guide you toward complete spiritual freedom. Share this message with anyone suffering from the prison of unforgiveness. Remember, you cannot change the past, but you can free yourself from its grip. You cannot control whether others apologize or change, but you can choose to release them in yourself. Forgiveness is not weakness, but the highest spiritual strength. May you discover that in forgiving family wounds, you are not excusing harm, but claiming your freedom. May your heart, softened by grace, become a channel for divine love. May you know from direct experience that forgiveness transforms not only relationships, but the very fabric of your consciousness, lifting you into the peace that surpasses all understanding. Go now and forgive, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve to be free.